welcome back to Akshata's Recipes. Thank you so much for stopping by. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome to my channel. Well, like all my recipes, today's recipe too is going to be quick, easy, yet delicious. So, without much further ado, let's just jump straight ahead into today's recipe. So friends, let's start with today's recipe. Now here I've taken about 1.5 cup of moong and I've just washed it thrice under running water and soaked it for about 6 to 7 hours or overnight. Now we'll go through the other ingredients. So this is the dal. I've drained out all the water. This is one light green chili cut finely, some coriander, some curry leaves, some cumin, some turmeric powder, some asafotedia or hing, and some mustard seeds, and a lime. All the ingredients with the exact measurements will be given in the description box below. So here I've just heated about 1.5 tablespoons of oil. To the oil I'm going to add my mustard seeds and wait till they pop. Once they pop, I'm going to add my green chilies and fry the green chilies well. Then I'm going to add a little bit of hing or asafoetida. Then go in my curry leaves. Let the curry leaves also fry a bit. Then I'm going to add my turmeric powder or haldi powder. Then I'm going to add my jeera or my cumin seeds. And then I'm going to add this soaked moong dal. That's it friends, that's all you require. Of course a little bit of salt and that's it. So now we're just going to give this all a nice mix so it gets well incorporated with the rest of the bagar or the fodni. Now this recipe was shared by my very close friend Pavitra Sargaonkar, and this is my daughter Ira's favorite. She loves to eat this. It's so easy to prepare, it gets ready quickly and it's really very delicious. Now I'm going to add some salt to taste. I'm going to add a pinch of sugar. Now we're going to mix everything very well. See that you fry everything nicely so that everything gets nicely mixed up together. And now we're just going to add a little bit of water because we want to cook the dal a bit. So just enough water to cover up the dal. So if you're taking 1.5 cup of moong dal, then about 2 cups of water should suffice. And now let this cook on a low to medium flame. And we're going to let all the water evaporate. So first let it come to a boil. And then we're just going to cover and cook it and stirring in between just to check. And we want all the water to evaporate. That's when our moong dal bhaji is all ready to eat. Now I also have a recipe for moong dal bhaji. I will leave a link below. And that's it friends. Our water has all evaporated. Our vegetable is ready. And we just have to add a squeeze of lime and some fresh coriander. So add in the coriander, mix it in well, then turn off your gas and add your lemon juice. This goes very well with some nice hot chapatis or puris. So that's it, and now I'm going to add my lemon juice. Now, one tip over here, if you're squeezing the lemon directly, always squeeze the lemon juice into a spoon. That way, if there are any lemon seeds or lemon pips, you can pick them out and you don't have to search for them in the vegetable. And then just mix, and your dish is all ready to serve. So for today's recipe, I've taken 1 tablespoon of oil in my pan or vessel. Now I've cut the pumpkin into these small cubes. After peeling it, I'll explain to you how I prepped the pumpkin. Now once our oil is nice and hot, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds or mohori or rye. Once the mustard seeds start to splutter, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera. Then immediately I'm going to add half a teaspoon of hing or asafotedia, followed by half a teaspoon of haldi powder or turmeric powder. Then I'm going to add half a teaspoon of fenugreek seeds or meethi seeds. This really adds a lovely flavor to this recipe. And then I'm going to add the pumpkin. Now this is about a quarter kilo of pumpkin. Mix everything really well together. Now I'll explain to you as to how I prepared the pumpkin. So first I washed the pumpkin really well. Then I peeled the peel off the pumpkin, which is a hard cover. So use a nice peeler or a knife. Then I've retained the seeds. What I do is I just wash the seeds well and then dry them up in the sun and just roast them a little bit with on a little bit of ghee and eat them. They're very delicious. And then I just cubed the pumpkin into these small cubes. So first of all, when you're buying the pumpkin, ensure that it's lovely and nice and fresh and orange in color. There's lots of seeds on it, and even though it should look fresh. Don't buy a very stale or like a whitish pumpkin. It should be more in red or orange in color. So now we're going to cover this with a lid, and I'm going to add water onto the lid. So this water will help to cook the pumpkin. Now we're going to keep the water on a low to medium flame like this till it starts to bubble. So you will see this bubbles. The minute you see the bubbles, then you lift the lid a bit with a pair of tongs like this. And then half of this hot water, you pour it into the pumpkin. This will cook the pumpkin nicely. The tongs are also called sanshi. So with the help of the sanshi, just put the water in. Keep half of the water on the lid. And then we're going to cover, and every 2 or 3 minutes, just lift the lid up very carefully and stir in between. Now after 10 minutes, you'll find that on a very low flame that the water has completely evaporated. Like you can see, there's no water on the lid at all. So now our pumpkin is nice and cooked. So now to check it, I'm just going to take a spoon and I'm just going to check the pumpkin. You should be able to cut through it very, very easily. So just take one piece of the pumpkin. See, it comes off very easy. I think the pumpkin is cooked. So now we can nicely flavor our pumpkin bhaji or Bhopla bhaji. So first, of course, I'm going to add salt to taste. Mix it really, really well. This is one of my favorite vegetables. It's just so delicious and it's so healthy too. Now I'm going to add about half a teaspoon of red chili powder, or you can add as per taste, as to how spicy you would like it. Then I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of my homemade goda masala. I will leave a link to my recipe. It's very simple. You can prepare your goda masala at home itself with no preservatives or anything, and it tastes really lovely. So I'll leave a link to my goda masala. You can make it at home and add it to lots of vegetables and lots of usals. I will leave a link to all those recipes. Now I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of gur or jaggery. So this is also as per taste. You can make it as sweet as you like, or less sweet. I mean, we like it a mixture of sweet, spicy. So I'm using the regular white gur that we use. Now mix everything really well together. Now, I like a little bit of a gravy to this, but if you want it completely dry, then you can just start cooking this on a little bit of a high flame till all the liquid evaporates. But a little bit of gravy really tastes very, very nice. I like to have this with some puri. And now I'm just going to add some fresh grated coconut and I'm just going to stir everything and just cook it for about a minute or two, and that's it, friends. And like I said, I like to have this with puri or even with some dal and rice or amti bhat. It tastes amazing. And that's it, friends. Our simple pumpkin bhaji is all ready to give it a try. So friends, let's see today's delicious Bhopli mirchi peat perun. Now here I'm using one big capsicum. I've just washed it well, cut and patted it dry. Now I've cut the top off. We're going to use the part of the top also. And we're going to remove all the seeds and the white part of the capsicum or the bell pepper. We're not going to use the white part or the seeds. And then you're going to cut them into small cubes, even size cubes like this. Now this one large capsicum makes enough bhaji for about 2 people. So if you want to make it for more, than double or triple the quantity. Now I'm going to chop up all the pieces, and now the top also I'm just going to chop as much as I can. Whatever pieces of the capsicum are available. We're not going to waste any of this lovely vegetable. And now our vegetable is prepped. Now it's very easy to make the rest of the recipe. So in a pot, I'm going to heat 1 tablespoon of oil. Once my oil is hot, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of mustard seeds. Once the mustard seeds begin to splutter, I'm going to add half a teaspoon of cumin seeds or jeera, half a teaspoon of asafotedia or hing, and half a teaspoon of turmeric powder. Now I'm going to add the chopped capsicum and I'm going to fry this in this fodni for at least half a minute. Then I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of red chilli powder. You can alter it, you can make it less or more depending on your spice level. Then I'm going to add some salt to taste, and I'm also going to add a pinch of sugar. Now I'm going to mix everything really well together. And now I'm going to add 3 tablespoons of besan or chickpea flour. So peat perun means, you're putting some kind of flour on the vegetable and making it. I have many recipes of peat perun. I'll leave the links below. There's kanda peat perun, there is meethi peat perun, and they all taste really delicious. And there's a dry recipe, so it's very good to give kids for their tiffin or carry to office for tiffin. It's a nice, and the shelf life also is pretty long if you keep it in the refrigerator. And it doesn't have any onion, garlic, ginger. Now I'm just going to sprinkle water. Don't pour water, just sprinkle water. So I've taken about 2 to 3 tablespoons and I'm going to sprinkle it and scrape the bottom because the chickpea flour tends to stick to the bottom. Again, I'm going to add some 3 or 4 more tablespoons of water and mix everything well. Now we just have to cover and cook this on a low heat for about 5 minutes, but keep stirring in intervals. Don't leave it unattended. Keep taking off the lid in intervals and keep checking on the vegetable. Now after some time you will see that the vegetable starts leaving the sides of the pan very easily, and also the besan starts to swell up a bit. It starts to become puffed up a bit. It looks a little bit like upma or something. It starts swelling up. Now I'm just going to add 2 teaspoons of clarified butter. So this is about after 5 to 7 minutes of cooking the vegetable. Now this ghee or clarified butter really elevates the flavor of this dish and just makes it even more tasty and delicious and light. So this is a very light and fluffy kind of a vegetable dish because of the besan that we've added. It has all the flavors of the capsicum and all the spices that we've added. Now again I'm going to cook and cover and cook this for about another 2 minutes, again stirring in intervals. And after some time you will see that whatever the flour is stuck to the bottom just comes off very easily because of the moisture of the water that we release, and the capsicum also does release a little bit of water. And now we're going to just add some chopped up coriander. The choice is yours. If you don't like coriander, you can leave it out. But at our home, we love coriander. Give everything a nice mix. Turn off the heat and your vegetable is all ready. This goes amazingly well with some hot puris or chapatis, even some rice and dal. And I'm telling you again, it's a great tiffin item. It tastes superb. So do try out this recipe, guys, and let me know in the comment section how you liked it. I'll catch you soon. This is Akshata signing off. Lots of love. Bye. I hope you're going to give it a try. Do let me know in the comment section below what you thought of today's recipe. Do share my recipes with family and friends. Spread the word about Akshata's recipes. You can also thank you so much for visiting my channel today. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and I will catch you in my next video sooner than you think.